Hey guys, I'm going to be introducing my new series in this video. The series is called Drop, Stop, and Roll. My ultimate goal is to be able to buy a scythe without selling my T-bow. I'll be placing certain restrictions on myself during the series that will make this goal more challenging but also more fun. This series will also help add meaning to each drop I get. It's easy to fall into a pattern of seeing a drop as its GP value after a while. Even with Iron Man, seeing the same weapon or armor drop more than once often loses its meaning. With this series, each drop or repeat drop means access to specific content that we may not have had the day before. Here are the basics. I see a drop, I stop the current boss I'm fighting once I complete the kill, and I roll a new boss to do based on the drop. Here are some more detailed rules. Anytime I see a weapon or armor drop in my name or someone else's name, I will base my next boss off of that drop. My next boss will be determined randomly from a list of all viable bossing options. All viable bossing options mean that the weapon or armor would be a reasonable item to bring at the chosen boss. PVM activities that would require me to be carried by others due to my weapon or armor would not be included. A new boss will be selected each day or once a new armor or weapon drop is seen. If I live stream past midnight, I roll a new activity at midnight once I complete the kill count I'm currently on. Here are 2 additional rules. When we see a drop, we will always go for one more kill for the back-to-back. This continues until we don't see a drop. At this point, I can decide which item to base our next boss roll off of. Related to rolling for a boss, if there is enough interest, I would like to make a poll one week instead of rolling to let you guys decide which bosses we'll fight. Here's an example of selecting a boss. Let's say I just got a Barrows hilt in a duo Barrows trip. I'm going to buy a Barrows Godsword and then spin this wheel. The options listed on it are all the potential bosses where a BGS is a viable weapon. As you can see, Zamorak was selected, so for the entire day, we'll be killing Krill in the God Wars dungeon. Then, as long as we don't get a drop at Krill, the following day we'll spin that same wheel again. However, let's say we get a Steam Battle Staff at Zami. Now we'll spin the wheel again with a new list of potential bosses. This time we got Zulrah, so we'll be heading over for some slightly scuffed Zulrah using a Steam Battle Staff. I have 4 exceptions to these rules. Wilderness bosses will be included when applicable. However, whenever a weapon or armor drops that can be used in the wilderness, a general wilderness category will be seen as an option. During my time in the wilderness, I can switch to different bosses or locations when I want to, or when it seems appropriate based on certain areas being camped by PKers. If I receive a Din's Bulwark from Chambers of Zarek, I will allow the exception of using it to catch black Chinchampas in the wilderness. This will be another route to reach Kriar in God Wars Dungeon or the Theater of Blood. Here's an example. If we receive a Din's Bulwark drop, we'll randomly select a viable place to use it. As you can see, it landed on Armadale, so I would head over to the wilderness to catch some Chinchampas before going to God Wars Dungeon. My last exception involves Barrows. Because you can use all attack styles, melee, range, and mage at Barrows, I could reasonably list Barrows for almost every possible drop, particularly with having high combat stats. In order to increase variety, I will only be allowing Barrows to be spun if the drop I receive has less than 3 other potential bosses it can lead to. Another special case is wildcards. These include special drops that aren't weapons or armor, but are often still exciting or rare to get. These include pets, mutagens from Zulrah, Slayer Helm recolors, and jars. If any of these drops occur, I complete one more kill for the back-to-back and then can decide which boss to go to next with any gear. For a pet, this counts if I get a new pet or a duplicate pet, or if someone I'm bossing with gets a new pet. The reason Scythe is listed here is because this weapon is our ultimate goal. If we see the item, we'll take a split as we would normally outside of the series, and then I select where we go next. Additionally, there are drops that become weapons or armor but cannot be used so initially. These items will be counted as their corresponding weapon or armor. Zulrah uniques are counted as the weapon they become. The Magic Fang counts as a Trident of the Swamp. The Tanzanite Fang counts as a Blowpipe. The Serpentine Visage counts as a Serp Helm, and an Uncut Onyx counts as a Fury. If a Crystal Seed drops, I'll decide to turn it into either a Crystal Halberd or a Crystal Shield. Based off of that decision, I'll spin the corresponding wheel. There are 3 untradeable pieces of the Brimstone Ring that drop from Hydra. If I get a piece of the Brimstone Ring, I will continue killing Hydra until the end of the day's session, a non-ring drop is seen, or until I have all 3 pieces of the ring. Once I get all 3 pieces, I'll put the ring together and roll based off of the bosses I can use the Brimstone Ring at. Crystals from Serb, similar to Zulrah uniques, will count as the item they become. Primordial crystals count as primordial boots, Pegasian crystals count as Pegasian boots, and eternal crystals count as eternal boots. Lastly, sigils from Corp also become their respective shields, which include the Spectral Shield, Arcane Shield, and Elysian Shield. With all that background on the series, I think we're finally ready to get started. During my last stream on Twitch, we got an Avernic Defender hilt drop. At the start of the next stream, we'll be spinning this wheel to find out where we'll go next. Come stop by to check out where we end up, ask any questions about the series, or just hang out. See you guys next week!